Good morning, everyone. Uh, I'm probably just standing between you guys and coffee, so we'll try to make it as quick as possible. So we had an extremely exciting power session this morning, so I'm going to probably reiterate a few things. Very humbled by the fact today and yesterday as well, a lot of people have been discussing artificial intelligence, transformation, machine learning, automation, robotics. Saurabh just spoke about automation and robotics and transformation as well. He spoke about the butterfly and the caterpillar effect. I thought, wow, he's stealing my thunder. But in any case, what we'll do is we'll walk through some very interesting facts about how automation really works today and really look at the future of work as such. Very also humbled by the fact that Sendil earlier spoke about how Sriram has really catapulted in making sure that he actually leads a digital enterprise. Very humbled. We just have to make sure that more leaders can take a cue from Sriram and how they've really moved forward. And thank you, Sendil, for that insight. So let's look at what is it that really takes you to become a digital enterprise. A digital enterprise today is very, very critical, especially if you're scaling and trying to get your enterprise into some sort of digital transformation, right? Saurabh earlier just spoke about digital transformation has been on for a few years. Has it really been adopted? Yes and no. Quite a bit in the Western markets, very little in India. As I progress through this discussion, just want to make sure that if India is trying to serve the world, why not have our own enterprises transformed internally as well? So that is something that's missing in India. And hopefully as leaders today, you will go back with the fact that can I make a difference in my organization as well? So if you're trying to get to a digital enterprise, first of all, you have to make sure that your operations are digital. Srinivas Rao earlier spoke about how banks, a lot of banks today are extremely manual. We've got to get that mindset out and move more towards digital. And Vivek, when he spoke about edge, he spoke about the word digital about 40 times. And I think that has to be ingrained in our heads. So first you have to figure out a way to make sure that your operations are digital. So if your operations have to be digital, your business processes have to be digital. And we've got to get that mindset as well, exactly like what Sendil said earlier. Thank you, Sendil, once again. I've quoted you 3 times. Appreciate your innovation and passion that you've shown at Sriram. If you don't have these three things going together, you will just not transform your enterprise. So a combination of these 3 is your first step to get to some sort of a digital enterprise. And the way we work with customers and partners today is to help you get to some sort of digital transformation through something called a digital workforce. Before we get to the digital workforce, let's look and see what is the foundation of a digital enterprise. It's very simple. Everything is digital. Just can't take away the fact that everything's got to be digital. You've got to make sure that you learn from every transaction, right? Saurabh spoke again about machine learning, how artificial intelligence can never get you spot-on results right on day one, and he's absolutely correct. You need a ton of machine learning. You have to learn from every transaction. Google's autonomous cars, Vivek spoke about autonomous cars, again Saurabh spoke about autonomous cars as well. You have to learn from every single transaction. And Saurabh, I have an answer for that case study that you just showed. Does the car go hit the lady? No, talk to Elon Musk. Tesla doesn't do that. So if there's a lady with a cart, it's not a bias of a human being. Tesla doesn't do that. So Tesla, in their own autonomous vehicle, use a lot of convolution neural networks. Very similar to what we use in our digital transactions. They basically learn on the fly. So that lady is safe, the cart is safe. Does a car self-destruct? Absolutely not. So Saurabh, car doesn't self-destruct. It stops, waits for a fix. So there is always a human being who comes and helps you, whether it's an autonomous car or whether your car is basically broken down, it's a manual transmission, you wait for somebody to come and fix it. Right? Basically, you learn from every single transaction, Saurabh. So the lady doesn't get hit, so she's safe. So basically, make sure every process, every system, make sure that when you are getting to the foundation of a digital enterprise, you've got to learn, make sure that every transaction, every process, people continue to learn. And democratize it internally. Make people think automation. It's just not leaders. You've got to make people think automation at every step of the way. Let's look at the digital labor market, right? So if you look at the digital labor market today, you have digital music. A lot of guys around, Spotify and so on and so forth, it's a $50 billion market, right? You basically have digital media, Google leads the way, phenomenal growth for Google, billions of dollars again. Finally, when you really look at the digital labor market as such, if you look at data collection and processing, trillions of dollars. This is not us saying it. McKinsey and others who have come up with this data to say, look, data processing, manual stuff of processing data, that's a huge industry today. But with automation and efficiency, the market is still huge. Untapped, a lot of you are yet to start on this journey. Now let's define the intelligent digital workforce. So we've been in this industry for about 15 years and we've actually ruled this space for a while. So we coined the terminology of the intelligent digital workforce. The digital workforce is nothing but, for us, a combination of robotic process automation from a business perspective. Robotic process automation is nothing but technology which can work on a graphical user interface exactly like a human being. Robotic process automation is technology that has the ability to switch between applications just like a human being. Robotic process automation is technology which can switch between environments exactly like a human being. And it's completely rule-based and structured data. So if there is something that a rule is defined on, robotic process automation actually works on it. So if you look at unstructured and semi-structured data in an enterprise which resides between the walls, it's very difficult to look at. You need artificial intelligence and machine learning. And that's exactly what we provide, very similar to an autonomous self-driving car. Vivek, thank you again, and Saurabh as well. So we use convolution neural networks to identify patterns. We exactly use the same algorithms that Google uses in their self-driving cars, and so does Tesla. A cognitive layer uses a lot of AI, a lot of machine learning as well. And along with it, if you're a process owner, great, you've automated a lot of processes, what next? So we provide predictive, instant, and historical analytics as well. A combination of all of these three together, robotic process automation, cognitive abilities along with analytics, is our intelligent digital workforce platform. The future of work is nothing but downloading a digital worker. If I need a financial controller, for example, if I need an accounts payable clerk, I should have the ability to basically download a role, and that's what we provide. So you don't have to spend enormous amount of time trying to look for the right person and get them on board. Instead, wouldn't you just download a digital worker to just make your lives a little more easier? Now, what's the power of the digital workforce is that, look, it's available on the cloud, instant gratification, turnkey solution, or feel free to just install it on-premise as well. A lot of large enterprises are still a little cloud shy, but a digital workforce platform can always be installed on the cloud, and that's exactly what we provide as well. Now, why would you really leverage it? If you're a CFO of a large company, you want to optimize labor costs, very simply put. You want to bring in more efficiencies. You want to basically make sure that you're providing a lot of data in terms of business intelligence, business insights, and operational insights as well to your business owners as well as IT and InfoSec as well. If you're running audits and compliance, you're just making sure that the time to market that is much faster. Getting your CSAT scores as high as possible. If you're processing insurance claims, for example, wouldn't you like your insurance claims to be processed much faster? And at the end of the day, as Saurabh mentioned, it can we bring in a digital worker with a human being to make their lives much more easier? Absolutely yes. And boosting employee morale, right? You would want to democratize something like this moving forward. So where are we today? So we are a 15-year-old company based out of San Jose in the US. We run a large R&D and engineering center in Bangalore. About 3,000 plus employees today globally. 15 years in this space, 1,500 partners including the big four. We are a very product-driven, license-focused company while our partners basically go ahead and implement professional services for us. Very simple, intuitive product to use. About 800,000 people trained on a product. The good thing about this is, for us, we believe in deploying digital workers in every single enterprise. We've deployed about 1.5 million digital workers globally for all our enterprises. And our vision by 2020, let me give an example of Uber. Uber today is the largest taxi fleet company and they don't own any assets, right? Airbnb probably is the largest hospitality company, but they don't own any assets as such. And for us, in 2020, in another year from now, our vision is to become the biggest employer globally. So we will probably have about 3 million digital workers by the end of 2020. Now you should really think, what would it really take for you as leaders here and for every company to become a digital enterprise, and we spoke about it. Think about it as no longer productivity is in your dictionary, it's about progress. You've got to really step up and get your enterprises to more of progress from where you really are. It's no longer about productivity. And the opportunity in India is huge, right? Like I said, if we are serving the world on a lot of digital transformation efforts, why not do it within? And that's probably lacking in a lot of enterprises in India. So the opportunity is huge. I was actually in Japan a couple of weeks ago with a large customer of ours, and we actually went to a large farmland which was actually split into two. So we saw a farmer with a customer of ours who actually manufactures a plowing equipment. We saw a farmer still use a traditional plow and go and till the land. And the guy next to him is actually using some sort of a crazy-ass machine, sorry, excuse my language, which basically is just tilling the land faster. Your productivity is faster. You're actually taking your rice to the market much faster. So we went and asked the farmer, who was actually using a plow, what are you really doing? Said, well, I believe in traditional approaches. I like my plow. So the answer from my customer to him was, why use a plow? Why not use a spoon, right? It will probably take 10 years to till your land. While your neighbor has used sophisticated equipment to till the land and take his product out faster. The fact of the matter is that we in India are blessed with a lot of process knowledge. We have the scale within us to move forward. Operational excellence is at its highest. We are the outsourcing capital of the world with a lot of talent that we have. And we serve the world, but we don't serve ourselves in our enterprises to really move forward with digital transformation. We have to aspire. As leaders in India, we have to aspire to become the hub of business automation globally, right? Like Saurabh said, digital transformation has been on for a while. He's absolutely correct. Transformation has been on for 3 or 4 years, for 5 years now, but time is very limited. You probably have a couple of more years before your competition really catches up. It's like playing a game of Tetris, right? I'm sure most of you have played Tetris. So, all these blocks keep falling around and They keep getting jumbled in a pattern, and you need to click and drag and drop, and before you know, time's up. You got to think about how do you really go from performance, productivity to really progress. If you don't, you're just left caught behind. It's about digital workers moving forward. Future of work is all about looking for a skill set, looking for a role, looking for an application, and downloading that digital worker and making sure that your lives are much more easier. We must begin now. I know a lot of enterprises today still use the spoon approach. We must begin now. There are 3 real approaches, very quickly to sum it up. You may be a small enterprise. You can start small, still not too late. If you really look at Ronald Reagan's philosophy, right, it's trust and verify. Trust but verify. You still want to start small but eventually move forward. There are a lot of people who still believe in democratizing RPA as well. They want to put a digital worker in everybody's hands. This is the Barack Obama model. Yes, we can. Right? You don't have to start small, but you still think, I want to put a digital worker in everybody's hands. Finally, there are CEOs who work with us who believe in a digital transformation right on day one. And if you really look at it, that's the Martin Luther King approach. I have a dream. So our 3,500 customers range from start to scale to transform in these 3 different models. So as leaders here today, you should really think, what role will you play in this bold new digital worker and bot economy? Thank you. We'll take a couple of questions if there's time, and I'm standing between you and coffee, but happy to take a couple of questions. We have a stall right in the corner as well, so feel free to drop by, and happy to answer any questions. Thank you, everyone. Enjoy your coffee.